It's movie time, and we're back again with movie time. Hey, everybody! Happy Friday, movie time! Hope that you had a fabulous couple of days rest and that you're ready for us once again. Tonight we have again our amazing co-host Olaf. Hey, Olaf, how you doing?
I am doing just wonderful. Just another lovely day in the great state of Indiana. Yeah, and hey, it's Friday. I don't
It
know what that. I
is.
don't know what that means. I hear people. It's like going, I don't know. Thank God it's Friday. I'm like, I don't get it.
It's Friday.
It's
Is there
Friday.
a particular reason why we should be thanking God for Friday? I mean, it comes every week.
Yeah, I'm like, well, thank God it's Friday. It's like, oh, it's Friday. It's like, yeah, so
Yeah. And also with us is Arpo. Hey, Arpo, how you doing?
Okay, readjusting the camera from last. What? Oh, okay. He's going. WC's going to clean it off there from his little accident last week.
you missed a spot. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Alrighty. All right.
So now we're
All is forgiven.
yeah. Don't let it happen again, WC,
Yes.
or you're fired.
It's very clumsy. Whoops.
Alrighty, so
Turning my head off.
tonight
I
we
know how
have
much that
got
bothers
like
you.
three. Yes, I do. Happy to announce though that it's like we will not be having this head cut off thing happening any longer.
Yay! By the way, your
Yeah.
head's cut off.
Yay! No, I'm just trying an extreme close up.
Okay. No more worries about that.
Yeah, so now we're going to be tweezering.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to be doing that. And tonight we have like three very awesome topics that we are going to be covering. So let's start off with our. Which one would we like to do? Our most controversial, least controversial, or somewhat controversial?
Let's. I'd say let's go with the most controversial first.
Okay. Olaf, do you want to introduce our most controversial article?
I want to see if you introduce the same one she thinks is the most controversial.
Well, it's pretty
That was a
easy.
hint. That was a hint. That was a hint.
That's like it's pretty easy. It's Arpo. That's our most controversial subject.
No. Of the three articles,
Of the three articles, oh my gosh.
which one she thinks is the most controversial?
Let's see. I'm going to go with the
Bachelor number one.
it's like number two, number three, the China thing.
Ooh, yes, this is controversial.
Is that did I pick the right one as the most controversial?
Indeed, you did pick that one very well. Now, for all of you out there who probably saw this awesome report today by Paul Eberling, just to give it in terms of reviews here, it's talking about Hollywood and China's relationship. The billions of U.S. dollars have been thrown into the question by Chinese regulations cracking down on overseas investments. Which is interesting because figuring that we've had many years of like trades between China and the United States in terms of investments and stuff, and of course we totally cannot believe that okay, we have a presidential person who was like just tried to kill the National Endowment for the Arts and all of that. So it's like given the fact of that, it's like he's taking a very defensive stance on this.
Yes.
So
Yes.
basically, it says, it's like the backers skip a payment, and both President Trump and the Democrats have been in a protectionist stance. So for 5 years, Hollywood has been really nice with China, and they've been
Yeah.
having a really good relationship.
Yeah. China has brought in a lot of money for American films in terms of the worldwide box office.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. See, they've been dating for 3 years, and now they're having their first fight.
Oh, that
Oh.
sounds
Yeah.
about right. It's about time to have a little bit of a skirmish.
Yep, the honeymoon stage is over in the industry, unfortunately. It's like the love affair. It's like, they're screaming, "What has changed?" And it's
Yes.
like they say the most high profile packs involved the biggest brands in both China and Hollywood, led to real estate giants to be brought into legendary entertainment. And it's like, so those were the good old years, and owned part of Brian Grazer and Ron Howard's Imagination Entertainment, and largely stagnant domestic movies in YTD. It's like the box office takes in North America is off by 3%.
Yeah.
So they hit a snag in the relationship.
Yes. Plus Paramount, who has been relying on that money coming from China for its films. I get the feeling, based on some disastrous films that have come from them in recent months, that China's probably going, you want all this money? Where's the good movies you kept promising us?
Yes.
Yes.
So basically, it's like basically what's been happening with it. It's like um, with the relationship, there's been a storm of regulatory upheavals, and obviously because of switches in powers, because we happen to have a president who takes one stance, and they have a president who takes a different stance.
Right.
There happens to be
As
clash of the titans that have now happened.
right. And as they say in the
Yep.
article, in other words, it's like with the political and economic shifts coming from Washington and Beijing, they're threatening to create a storm of regulatory upheaval that could
Mm-hmm.
beach that could beach any future U.S. China media transactions. So that doesn't look good for stuff.
No, and it does actually fly in the face of a lot of the relations that the American film market has been discussing, and a lot of relationships that have been happening between, sales and Poussin and the American film market and other film festivals as well, by having all of this rifting going on in between. So what we're finding now is if we're going to have that happen, there's going to be a lot of gaps, because it's like it used to be block like countries. Now it's not bloc countries. It's China who does a lot of influence in the industry for the last 5 years, and now suddenly we're deciding that no, we don't love you anymore. We're having troubles and issues.
Hmm.
So, and it's like the protectionist tendencies of Trump have been founded by partisan support of the lawmakers, and several pushing to increase regulatory scrutiny of China Hollywood deals. Well, you know what? We're not in an economic time that really the deals. It's like, okay. Does China have what they say that they have? We don't know. Do they? It's like, has there been a good marriage to date between the two countries? Yes, because they opened up more theaters to be able to host more of it, like more North American films and stuff. They went from 25 to 36 films. So obviously there's been a shift there in terms of paradigm
Mm-hmm.
shifts. We have done co-productions in China over the years. So my question is why are we rocking the boat? And what is the benefit of rocking this boat? Because it is a market that is and a territory that, what, it's like, as filmmakers you want to have as many territories as possible. If they lock you out, that's a huge market, Asia, in the Asian market.
But now some of this pressure is coming from uh, Senate
Yes.
putting the pressure on Trump, saying that we should cut off the business until Beijing agrees to do something about North Korea's whole missile program. has some sort of mystical control over what that
Exactly.
madman is doing up there.
Yes, of course, because it's like, China, Korea, they're the same country, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's like
Don't ask me. I'm geographically challenged, so I don't know.
exactly. Because it's like I'm sure that China is able to like just turn around and say to Kim Jong Un, it's like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm sure he'll say, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
My bad. Yeah, it's like I'm sorry. How do you equate countries that are like so distantly apart from each other?
Yes, geographically and politically.
Yes, it was like
I mean,
a
yes, they're both
former.
communist countries,
Yeah,
but the difference in the rulers of the two countries is like night and day.
yeah. It's like, and that would be like saying, "Hey, Japan, can you tell China what to do?"
Yeah,
It's like,
I mean,
or here's one. Okay, Afghanistan, can you like influence Iran for what they're going to be doing right now?
Yeah,
Or
I think that would go over really well. Both of those would go over very, very well.
it's perfectly
absolutely.
simple. It's perfectly simple. India just has to say, China, straighten up and fly right, or we're sending back every person who is a descendant of the Boxer Rebellion evacuees.
There you go.
And your country doesn't have enough room for them.
Yeah. And again, it's one of those things of talking about, your different influences from China is one culture, Korea is another culture. It's like the only thing that they have is that they all host Busan together.
Yeah.
It's like you have two different leaders, two different countries. It would be like saying to you know what, my easiest one that I can give you is like saying to Justin Trudeau, can you tell Donald Trump not to do that?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't speak meanly to the press, Justin Trudeau. You tell him that.
Yeah. Personally call him up and say, Donald, stop it.
Yeah, and he's gonna listen.
Oh, yeah. Listen, we're talking
So
about a guy. This may all be a moot point. I mean, we are talking about a guy who is threatening to close down the government if he doesn't get his wall.
yeah,
So,
it's like, so when it comes to the arts, I would honestly say to him, go into the corner, suck your thumb, like you normally do, and just stay away from this kind of relation. Leave it to somebody in your administration who actually understands the arts and understands negotiation with the arts.
right.
and for all of our listeners out there who are died and true Republicans, that Trump, he's a hell of a good president, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that he. Look, what I am saying, and don't get me wrong, whether you like him, hate him, whatever your feelings are in regards to this, if it's a subject that you don't know anything about, leave it to your advisors. I would say the same thing if it was Obama in there or any other president. It's like it's if you do not know what you are doing, stirring the pot like this especially on a subject that is like, and saying ignorant comments like Trump did. See, this is the thing: is no other president has said ignorant comments, but this is besides the point. Like this particular
Oh boy,
ignorant set of comments. But
you're
um,
really giving
the
George
point.
W. Bush a lot of leniency there when you say that.
Well, you know what? It's like, yes, there are presidents. Okay, fine. There are presidents who have done ignorant comments. However,
Yeah.
that being said, it's like, it's like, don't. It's one of those things of maybe perhaps step aside, and I don't care what political sense you are in, step aside from where you're at And like I said, I have no influence one way or the other, Republican, Democrat. It's like, to me, it's like whatever side that you come on. If you don't understand the subject, leave it to people in your cabinet who do, to handle this. Stay one away, and if you are asked for comment, can comment I am sure my trusted advisor, whoever that person is that you have given, will be able to handle the matter in a very diplomatic manner.
And if he can't handle the matter, I'll fire him.
Exactly, and replace him with someone who can, or whatever.
Well, just because
And
he seems to really love firing people over there.
well,
Woo.
and like I said, it's like whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, an independent, it's like it doesn't matter who is in. It's mattering in terms of who is in office. It's like there are certain things you should leave alone, like healthcare. You know nothing about it. Don't touch it.
Yeah.
Leave it to people who actually know what they're doing. Let them all work it out. Okay, same thing with this, in this particular case, with the relations with China and the arts, and the arts in general. You are not articulate enough to know on the subject. Leave
Yeah.
it to those in your cabinet who do. Let them work out the diplomacy with this situation so that it continues a harmonious relationships with everyone.
And for
It's like,
crying out loud, don't make it a political issue.
because
It's
it's
not
not.
a political issue.
And this is why I'm saying it, because I have no political aspirations one way or the other. So it's like, go ahead, audience, ask me if I'm a Democrat, Republican, independent, anything like that. Like, what do I believe? It's like, I believe in the fact that it's like, if you are not articulate on a subject, don't talk about it. Leave it to somebody, like, don't negotiate on a subject that you don't know. It's why that in production teams, you have many people on the teams, because everybody has their own strengths.
Yep.
And oops, that's such a strong comment.
They tracked her down.
They tracked her down. They got her. Oh no.
Oh no.
But yeah, like what she's saying though is like, it just, you need to, like, focus.
Yeah. This is not goods and services here, okay? This is money for the arts. This is money to industry whose primary job is to take people's minds off of all the bad things that are happening around them.
Exactly.
And give them a couple of hours respite of entertainment.
It's like, yeah, and of entertainment that, you don't have somebody getting all chopped up and being shot up and everything else. Well, I mean, there may be a little bit of that, but I mean, it's something that's entertaining and it's again, you might learn a little something too.
Yeah. So, but it's it's just, it's not like what's the deal happening between what they call the China Hollywood tie-up. It's not affecting prices.
No.
It's not affecting import export taxes and embargoes.
Mm-mm.
So just leave it be.
Yeah.
Because the industry is doing what it has to do to survive. And trust me, if the entertainment industry fails, then where are we going to be? Where's the, where is the government going to be if the entertainment industry fails?
Yes.
There'll be mass hysteria.
Yeah, and it's like, and also the not to mention the economic, just
That's right. There's a lot of
implosion.
jobs. Yeah, there's a lot of jobs in the entertainment business.
There is. It's like, and this is the thing that a lot of people don't figure out. It's like, this is why you need somebody who has a gentle hand at this to
Yeah.
negotiate this through.
All you people who get up and walk out because you're saying, "Oh God, the credits are always so long. They go on for 10 minutes. Why? Why do they go on for 10 minutes? Well, because there's all these people
Involved.
who were hired, whose job it was to make this movie,
Yeah.
Right.
and we're talking, tens of thousands of people every day
Yeah.
have jobs because of the entertainment industry. I might even go so far as to say if you throw in television and theater, we may be looking up to about 100,000 jobs a day
It's true.
Right.
just in the entertainment industry. And you want to block the money that's keeping that industry going?
Well, and this is the whole thing, is that, look, this is why he needs to step aside and have somebody who actually understands this industry come forth and negotiate these deals with China. It's like, if China has lied to the country, let it be with somebody diplomatic who understands how to do this. Because if you are relying on him to do this, we are all in big freaking trouble.
Yeah. And what I was saying when you weren't on the air, I don't know if you could still hear us or not.
Yes,
Oh, you could?
a little bit. Yes.
Okay, because I was saying, this has nothing to do with products.
No.
This has nothing to do with import-export taxes or embargoes or levies or anything. It's strictly money to keep an industry in business that provides jobs.
Right.
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
and I'll tell you right now that it's a shame. It really is, because it's like, look, this has nothing to do with politics.
Yeah.
If you want to negotiate something, negotiate from a point of view of being completely knowledgeable of it. It's in the same way that I had made mention of. It's like, if you don't understand a subject, don't debate it. It's like, yes, this is a gentle and sensitive negotiation between two countries. It's like who are each trying to do upper handed. And again, you are talking about China, which is known as a communist country. By nature, that this is going to be happening. So yeah, it's like treating it a little bit with kid gloves and diplomacy wouldn't hurt. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you had heard what I had said. It's like, you know what? Find somebody in the cabinet who actually can negotiate this deal, and I'm sure that this will not be a problem.
No, but
Okay,
you
they
got to have the right person.
They didn't cut you off that time. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
when you disappeared right after saying that, we're like, oh, they got to
They
work.
found her. Oh no.
I know. And I said, it's like, laugh as you will at what I would probably suggest. And I don't know why I'm suggesting it, but maybe perhaps it takes, somebody with a little gentler hand to to deal with this. I don't know. Somebody who actually understands about Chinese relations. Definitely don't send Paul Ryan in.
I think he's trying to tell you he has a very gentle hand.
Yes. Okay, send WC in.
Yeah.
There you go. WC, get it straightened out.
That's right.
Yeah, he's part of the administration. So now that we've gotten into one of the most controversial subjects, and yes, again, people need I say I am not a Republican, Democrat, anything. It's like I am open each and every time to. It's like in regards to that, because you have to understand, being from Canada, we have 5 political parties. So, and each one of them do their dumbass things.
That's got to be confusing.
It's like, having it's like, in terms of that here, it's like, in terms of that, it's like when the next election comes, so I'm clarifying this for all people. I'm going to be voting for the candidate that I feel will be the strongest. There.
And just so we're clear on the subject, that does not mean the candidate who's best at throwing out insults at his opponents and the media.
Correct. It will be fought on issues. Not for me. It will be voting on issues and getting intellectually available with that. It's like understanding even this 2018 election that's coming up. I don't intend to. I intend to read all the platforms of the candidates. Here's a big thing, America. Why don't we read the platforms of the candidates? That way we can vote intellectually. Don't only read from one source. Read from multiple sources.
That's right.
But that would be the sensible thing to do.
Well, that's how I choose to cast a vote.
Yeah.
But again, that's the sensible thing to do. And as we know, most times the government doesn't do sensible things.
Yep.
That's why we, the voters, have
to
do the sensible thing.
Yep.
And get balanced. If you read an article from Huffington Post, read an article from Fox.
Yes. Read all the articles on your candidate from all sources. Because sometimes they'll contradict each other, and sometimes they'll just say it in a different way, the exact same point.
Yeah.
Now, what you choose to believe, again, that is your own belief system. Where my thing is if you want to be a voter, you should actually read your materials, read the platforms, understand your candidate that you're choosing. And it's not about parties, people. It's like, let's stop making this about parties. Make it about the person who you're putting in office. Do they understand the job, and and what are the issues that they are saying they represent? And does that work for what you need in your life?
Right.
Or how's this for an idea? This is what a friend of mine who was a history major recommended. Just every single election cycle, whoever's in office, vote them out and vote in the newcomers. And just keep doing that until people get the idea of, hey, maybe we should get something done.
Right.
And then you'll have your government that you can, keep around for a while.
It's about educating yourself. Understand, just because somebody's giving you speeches, this does not mean this.
And besides, you can never know the veracity of what anybody is saying about anyone else. CNN did an article online that I read that was 57 completely out there lies that Donald Trump did in his speech Tuesday night in Arizona.
Yep. Evidentiary proof.
Yeah.
And it's like, look, even in terms of evidentiary proof, if you have it on videotape, it's pretty irrefutable. In terms of evidentiary proof, especially if it's raw footage, you cannot deny raw footage.
Yeah.
It's like there is no way to edit it or doctor it. The point is that it's like once you say it on tape, it's there for infamy. So I am saying this on tape for infamy. If we want the situation in China to be able to be improved between China and the States, and not to have a breakdown in communications of the arts, put in somebody in there who actually understands it and stop butting in where you don't belong.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care who is in the office. I will say that directly. And it's not a love or a hate and like I said, no political affiliation to it whatsoever. It's talking about a subject that the person knows nothing about.
Yeah.
And of course, making it all about them.
Yes.
Because it can't
and
be
like
all
you said, it's on video, so you can't say I didn't say that. Well, you can say I didn't say that until somebody actually shows the video, and then you have to say, but that's not what I meant.
Yes. And then, it's like, again, they're not taking it out of context if it's raw footage.
Yeah.
Which brings us, though, to our next subject. So, Arpa, what would you love to talk about next?
Well, what I thought you were actually choosing as the most controversial topic this week or this program, and that is a certain bigwig Hollywood director's comments on the highest grossing movie, not only of this year, but I think of the decade so far.
Yes. That would be James Cameron. And yes, this does bring us to controversy topic number 2, which is James Cameron criticizing Patty Jenkins and Wonder Woman. So James Cameron's inability to understand what Wonder Woman stands for to women all over the world is unsurprising, as he is a great filmmaker. He's not a woman. Now, that will be my opening statement, and that is directly from Patty Jenkins' writing in her post on Twitter. Now, and I will go on to read the rest of that quote. That being said, he thinks it's a step backwards and antiquated. Okay, for all of us who have talked about Wonder Woman to death, it's like, I'm sorry, but it's like, when he is trying to compare Sarah Connor to Wonder Woman, there is no comparison. Wonder Woman is the quintessential embodiment of what female empowerment and strength is about, for all little girls, to all women.
Yeah.
In terms of that. Yes, there are other superheroes, and I'm not saying that there isn't. But in terms of embodiment of every little girl who looked at Wonder Woman, it's like she embodied the strength to be able to go on in tough and hard times. She was in terms of Justice League, is like one of the first women to come in there and actually be part of it and go at par with the men. There, so no, it's like calling the superhero film a step backwards is insulting, beyond insulting. And I love the rest of her quote. Strong women are great. He praises my monster and our portrayal as a strong yet damaged woman was so appreciated. But if women have to always be hard, tough, troubled, or be strong, and we aren't free to be multidimensional or celebrate the icons of women everywhere because she is attractive and loving, then we haven't come very far, have we? Well, you know what? I'll agree with her, quote Patty Jenkins. Because in that sense, yeah, she built it's like Wonder Woman is a multi-diverse character. She has dimensions. She's not just tough and strong. She's got a sensitive side to her as well.
Yeah, if you look at Cameron's films, he seems to equate softness and femininity and beauty with weakness.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that Sigourney Weaver is not a beautiful woman. She is.
You mean Linda Hamilton?
Well, no. I'm referring to Sigourney Weaver here in Aliens.
Ah, yes.
Okay. Yes, she is a beautiful woman, but she was not for most of that movie.
No.
She was ripped. She was, she was, for all intents and purposes, a woman playing a man's part.
Yeah.
And so was Linda Hamilton in The Terminator. And in his comment that he made that, wait, I don't want to misquote him here.
Nope. Go directly and quote him.
He says, to me, the benefit of characters like Sarah is so obvious. I mean, half the audience is female. Now, James, let me explain something to you. If you think that half the audience of Terminator, or for that matter, half the audience of Aliens was female, you're dreaming.
Yes. As well as also the strange reaction in there. It's like it's self-congratulatory, back patting. It's called I'm sorry, you made dances with wolves in space.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
there is no comparison of that to this.
And now, like Kevin Costner, he's making sequels to it. Oh, okay. Kevin Costner didn't make a direct sequel to Dances with Wolves, but he made The Postman. He made Waterworld. They were all basically the same character,
Yeah.
just in a different setting. And I got news for you, Jimmy boy. They bombed.
Yeah. So weigh in on this, Olaf, with us.
I was just I'm just listening and agreeing with what you're saying so far.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
okay.
it's just yeah, it's kind of pretty much hit what I was thinking too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and a comment that I made to Grayson earlier this evening when she first brought the article to my attention was that to me the appearance to me what I get from this is that Cameron's feelings are still bruised over losing the Best Picture Oscar to his wife.
Yes.
I'm sorry, his
Ex-wife.
ex-wife.
oh yeah, that there is that to consider too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, and I'm sorry, but as far as that goes, it's like pretty much it's like in that same mindset. It's like he also talked about being the downside of being attracted to independent women, and that they don't need you. Again, it's one of those things of I'm not sure what antiquated thinking that James Cameron has fallen into, but we in the modern century as women are diverse of character and diverse of personality. And what does need have to do with anything? It's like I'm fail to understand what need has to do with the fact of making strong female characters that show independence. Is it because even with Sarah Connor, she survived on her own.
Right.
If you want to call her a out against somebody like a Wonder Woman, well, or Sigourney Weaver's Ridley.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, again, these are Ripley. She survived on her own. Yeah, it's like in terms of characters. No, are they wonderful women? Absolutely not. But they had a strong personality. But they also had vulnerability. Why is it that he's critiquing it unless it's for the fact that it's like because it resonates so strongly in women, the characteristics of Wonder Woman? It's like, why is being an independent woman so intimidating to him? That would be my question. I'd like to know. Why are you intimidated by somebody? It's like, and saying, oh, they don't need you. Well, no, people don't need each other. They want each other.
Yes.
Right.
There isn't. It's like, I need you as a sense of desperation.
Yeah.
When you are talking about an I need of something, like I need money. Well, that comes from a place of desperation. I would like to have money or I want money. Comes from a desired place to be able to figure out how do you get there.
Yeah.
Same thing when it comes down to this. It's like perhaps what then his want is to have a film that is as successful in a female as a superhero in personality as Wonder Woman is. And sorry, Dances with Wolves in Space, the sequel, will not do.
Yeah.
Perhaps maybe instead of going in the direction of criticizing someone else's work, championing their work and saying it's great, maybe that they've led the way towards other filmmakers of strong female characters. And bringing that out there.
Yep. and putting them more in the forefront as, oh, well, these are, these are our trailblazers, they're coming in and doing things that we didn't think they could do. And it's like, go team, keep going.
Yep.
Yeah. I just think, like I said, he's just having sour grapes that his ex-wife has become a better director or at least has become a better filmmaker than him.
Mm-hmm.
She won for The Hurt Locker. She was nominated for Zero Dark 30. There's the tree. I'm on the limb. Here's my saw. I'm saying she's getting nominated again this year.
Yes.
Detroit for Best Picture. Wait and see. And her for Best Director. Wait and see. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Well, and I'll tell you right now, one thing that I'm quite happy about. The fact that it's like, look, you know what? We should be at this point in time celebrating diversity of characters in the industry instead of turning around and saying, well, that just means that we're going a step backwards. How did we antiquate Wonder Woman in any way? We didn't.
No.
How did we antiquate? It's like saying statements like that takes a step back into the industry because then that's proving male chauvinism.
Yeah, and that's what's antiquated.
Yes, that's extremely antiquated.
As is his attitude towards this movie.
Yeah. It's like, I'm sorry, why the hate on for that? Go on.
Because they still have the sign on the front door, no girls allowed. It's still the boys' clubhouse, and
and people like Patty and Catherine keep ignoring it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, they're not paying attention to the sign on the clubhouse door. No, it's like no girls allowed.
Well, and you know what? The time is to maybe throw that sign out. Because
it's been past time to throw that sign out for quite a while.
Yeah. It's like maybe we should start understanding that door is now open. It ain't getting shut again. Though people would love to see it shut, it's like times they are changing.
Right.
There are some amazing directors out there that are women. There are amazing writers who are women. There are cinematographers out there who are women. And they happen to be very good at the craft that they do. Why not come to be a time to celebrate diversity in our industry? And guess what? There are a lot of male directors and filmmakers who are incredibly great also. Guess what? There's room at the table for everyone.
Right. And, if you could actually get, a really great, woman director and a really great man director, and the two of them collaborate on a movie together, could you imagine what might actually come out of that?
I know. It's like instead of fighting, how about celebrating our diversity in this industry? Because honestly, we are all living in the same diverse universe. And it's not about, and this isn't a feminist platform. So again, audience members who are listening to the show, please don't understand that it is not one of those oh, this is not an all men are this or this. This is a specific filmmaker. For all of you who have tuned in, it's a specific filmmaker, not dealing with the industry in general. The industry in general, we have to start wising up because it's like, guess what? It is now a more diverse field out there. There are more projects that are coming out there with different voices. Let's start celebrating those voices that are out there. Don't take us back to the caveman days of, ugh, you as woman, you cannot direct. Ugh, you as a person of, some other race or it's like an orientation, you cannot direct.
Yeah, right. You know what? Catherine Bigelow has been a better director than James Cameron for almost her entire career. Yes, I know James Cameron has made some big, hugely successful movies, and they are movies that I liked very much, like Aliens and The Abyss. They were, I enjoy those movies. They're great. They rock 'em, sock 'em. But you know what Catherine Bigelow was making?
What?
Near Dark.
Mm-hmm.
You know that one there, Mr. Olaf, sir?
I don't. That's what I was thinking. I don't think I've seen that one.
It's a modern day Western with vampires.
Yeah, no.
And it is
Nice.
absolutely one of the most watchable movies I've seen in many a year. It's really, really well done. She was making Blue Steel, Point Break, Strange Days.
Mm-hmm.
She's been making good movies for almost as long as Cameron.
Yeah, without the influence of the getting awards and accolades for it.
Yeah, and without the gigantic budgets.
Mm-hmm. And that's another thing. It's like, is this sour grapes because Patty Jenkins actually got a decent budget? It's like,
maybe.
Yeah, and if it is, it's one of those things of, again, it's a great movie. Grow up.
Yeah. You wanna make comments like that? What if you're only as good as your last movie.
Or any of your future movies.
And your last theatrical movie was Avatar.
Yep.
Then you collaborated on Toruk, The First Flight, which was a TV movie. That doesn't count. Oh, here we go. The Last Train from Hiroshima, The Survivors Look Back. This was going to be your comeback movie, this documentary based on this man's book. Oops! The guy who wrote the book was lying about everything. Oh, no! Way to pick 'em, James. Way to pick 'em. So, you've given us nothing really in 8 years. And your next movie isn't scheduled to come out for another 3. So, until then, my advice, put up or shut up.
And also, I will...
Joanna, I rest my case.
And it is a good case to have. And it's one of those things of also, it's like, how about this? We go ahead and we celebrate the diversity in the industry. Celebrate the fact that Wonder Woman is a vast success in the way that it is. And what it means to a lot of female filmmakers, as well as also a lot of people in general, to have strong characters and role models in the industry. How about we start celebrating when somebody does something good instead of crapping on it?
That could work. That could work very much.
No, that won't work. Then that would mean that we've turned into a a very social society. You
Yeah.
can't you can't have you can't accept that. It's like we're just not that
Really?
sensitive.
You think that's going to make us social?
So
And
that
you know what? It's like it may not be your cup of tea. The thing that comes out. You may not like it, but you know what? Celebrate the fact that somebody has made this film or made that project because they worked damn hard for it for a number of
right.
years to create it. Whether you like it or not, or whether you think that the final product was amazing or not, how about giving the congratulatory things where the congratulations is due?
That's right.
Yep. Yep.
If you don't like it, you know what? You're entitled to your opinion of saying, I don't like it. I think it sucked. It's like it was horribly bad, whatever. But
Okay.
don't
Okay,
rain
we
on
get the
somebody's
point.
parade.
We get the point. You're celebrating. We get the point.
Yeah. And this is something that, ladies and gentlemen, it's like as filmmakers, if we don't start working together as teams and start celebrating each other, we're going to keep tearing each other apart in this industry. Why do we have such a strong hold with the foreign European markets? It's because the fact is that it's like we also quote unquote need them.
That's right.
Because we became so self-important, so self-congratulatory that we priced ourselves out of the market.
Yeah.
In domestic, so therefore we rely on foreign people to be able to do that. Sorry, that's a reality check.
Because everybody knows foreign countries, that's where all the money's at least. Sure as hell doesn't see. Let me look again. Just be sure. Nope, it's not around here.
So maybe perhaps what we need to be doing, like I said, is stop biting the hand that feeds us.
Yep.
Because a lot of it's like, and stop beating up and going, well, it's like, well, that movie, and it's like, you know what, if somebody did something right, celebrate it.
Yeah.
Patty Jenkins did something right. She made a movie of a strong female character with diversity and influence that brought to life a DC heroine of many little girls' fantasies and hearts. So that's something to celebrate.
Yes. Yes.
It's like, and like I said, like it or hate it, it's like you know what? It brought forth a strong female image of what modern women are today. In terms of other characters, yeah, I will go forward to say that Sarah Connor was an embodiment of a rebellious spirit in women because she didn't need the thing she needed John Connor for was sperm.
Mm-hmm.
She was perfectly capable of handling things quite on her own. Is that a comment coming from a good place? No. It comes from a place of saying, like, okay, there are many aspects to that film. To dismiss it just like that would be like dismissing a part of that film. And when you're talking about it's like the things that are dealing with other filmmakers and other people's work, then you are dealing with exactly the same thing. So yeah, let's not go into ignorant statements. Celebrate it. Celebrate the movie. It's like it was a beautiful piece of being able to have strong influences. And worry less about, oh my gosh, it's like, what is it that somebody is doing? So that being said, it's like because it will translate this into our third topic, which is a series that I did not know existed until, and thank you, Catherine Swan, for showing us that. Our co-producer, Catherine Swan, and as you remember correctly, from a few weeks back, our great interview with Catherine, and we look forward to having Catherine aboard here again. This show is called A Path Appears. Has anybody heard of this show or know about this show?
No, I haven't.
Once again, only because of Catherine.
Yes.
Like you.
Yeah, it's like, now A Path Appears is a series of episodes dealing with, it premiered in 2015. It's the Department of Justice, and there's 300,000 children at risk of being trafficked in sexual slavery in the United States. The series is dealing on this subject. Episode 1 is called Sex Trafficking in the USA. It was on PBS. They will be showing this. It says a path appears from the creative team that brought you the groundbreaking Half the Sky, turning the oppression into the opportunity for women worldwide. It follows the intrepid reporter of Nicholas Kristoff and Cheryl Wooden, and the actor advocate Mullen Ackerman. So also Ashley Judd is in this as well. So it's a six. There are different episodes of, with episode 1 talking about sex trafficking in the USA, episode 2 talking about breaking the cycle of poverty, violence and solutions. So there are quite a few. Episodes on here, and they are available for streaming to watch on PBS, on Amazon, on iTunes, on Netflix. So this is quite interesting, this series.
Sounds like it is. Sounds like it's going to be, or it is and is going to be, yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't realize trafficking happens here in the States as well. And you know what? Even if they do realize it, they dismiss it as commonplace. It's not commonplace. It's actual people's lives. We have heard from warriors of this that it's like have told us horrendous stories that are literally, skin crawling. The various coalitions we have spoken to. Series like this, I applaud them and celebrate the fact that they actually exist.
Yeah.
Because it's bringing light to a horrible subject. And we would like to all ignore and think that, no, it doesn't happen in our own backyards. I'm sorry, it does happen in our own backyards.
Yeah, that's the whole thing of, that won't happen here.
Yeah.
It's like, but unfortunately, it is happening there.
Yeah. And it's happening here more prevalently than you think.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, that it is a very sad thing that it does happen. There's really, a lot of great people who are trying to fight against this. And this series has a great thing. It's like this particular episode talking about the 300,000 children at risk for trafficking and sexual slavery in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And this was in 2015. Okay, all of these years later, 2 years later, you're looking at almost doubling that number, unfortunately. We're increasing it, at least by another 100,000. Because we don't look at it. And it's like they travel to Nashville where they visit house and meet Shayna Goodwin, the earliest memories of her being sexually attacked by her grandfather. That's like attacked by her grandfather at the age of 12.
Wow.
Yeah.
Some children molested at earlier ages than that. It's like she was prostituted by the time in there. I'm like, wow. You know, it's like Maria discovers a missing 15-year-old daughter who's feared fallen prey to traffickers. It's like, how do we let this be the case? It's like we meet Savannah. It's like who was stalked by an older man on a sugar daddy website. It's like there's places like Sugar Daddy, Backpage, things like that. It's like, really, when do we grow up? When do we wise up? Because a lot of people, it's like this is something that has been talked about by a lot of people, sugar daddies and sugar babies. And it's like, as much as some people want to, lighten on that subject, it's a very scary thing. Some people want, it's like they literally seek that because they think it's one thing. They don't realize what they're getting themselves into.
No, not at all.
And when they do, it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, this is also why the film is coming out. That is so important and so needing to be out there for exactly these same reasons. Or in this case, also, it's like 15% of American men regularly purchase sex, but it's like few are ever penalized for this. This also happens, by the way, to men. It is not only a female problem; it is a male problem as well. So, just to let you know, it happens to both, and it's like the statistics in this program are absolutely shocking. And some of the organizations that are part of this one is called My Life, My Choice, Thistle Farms, Fair Girls, and Gems. So, I mean, honestly, it is a loss of words of why these things happen and how can we stop them? By becoming aware of them and actually taking a proactive stance against them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Supporting projects that expose this.
Yes, if you have reason to believe that some place in your town has, human trafficking going on, or that there are people working there who are more or less enslaved, report it. There are toll-free numbers, and they don't care if it turns out to be nothing. They would rather check it out and be sure than have somebody say, well, it's probably nothing.
Yep.
And let this problem continue.
And the best part is you can still remain anonymous. You don't have to give your name.
That's right.
You can report it anonymously.
Right.
So if you're worried about repercussions for yourself, for others around you, fear not.
Yeah.
A lot of these places will, and again, organizations, tell me if I'm wrong, will ask you to, it's like you can remain anonymous.
Yeah.
Nobody need ever know that it was you.
Right.
And what are they going to do? And I'm sorry, how are they going to point the finger? Unless somebody tells them. And then chances of that happening are what?
Slim.
Yeah.
I was going to say the opposite of me, but I wasn't sure people would get the slim reference from that.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, so yeah, you see it, report it. There are great organizations, Polaris Project, We Are Free, Free International. It's like
Yeah.
The Central Missouri Coalition Against Human Trafficking. They're all places that, it's like Central Missouri Coalition Stop Human Trafficking. There's also like there's so many organizations you can go to. It's like really you should not be silent about it. And even if you think that you can handle it, don't do it on your own.
No.
Do not take a solo effort on this. These people are highly trained towards this.
Yes.
And
if you go in on your own, A, you're likely to be killed, and B, they're going to pack up and go away. So if anybody else has noticed it in the area, it's too late. They're gone.
yeah. The best thing you can do is report it. Report it to the proper organizations.
Yes. If you see it, if you think you see it, report it.
Yes.
Like I said, they'd rather chase down, a false call than have somebody not call and have it be something they could have saved lives from.
Yes.
So you need to take the proactive stance instead of the reactive stance.
Yes.
Precisely.
So, and also, like I said, I encourage you to do that. I also encourage you to go to pledge to the films that are being done that are dealing with the subject.
Yes.
They're well worth it.
Because many of those films are working with these anti-trafficking organizations.
Yes.
So by helping them, you're also helping these organizations.
Yeah.
Which rely on contributions to stay in existence.
Exactly.
Okay, they don't get much money from the government and from the NSA.
Nope, they don't, and that's the shame of it.
Because it's like bad. It's like they just haven't decided that it's a big enough problem to throw money at.
Yeah.
So,
not when they have to build a 300-mile long wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we encourage you, please do watch it and make sure that you do.
And give to these groups.
$20,
$10, $5, $1. They don't care. Yep. Every little bit helps to save a life.
It does.
Yep. Those $1 or $2 add up to be $100 or $200 after a while. So.
Yep. And it's that $100 or $200 that may just save somebody.
Yes.
So please be free. Please be sure to join us also on our Wednesday show. Now, Olaf, how do they get you in social media?
Well, you can stalk me on both Facebook and Twitter at Olaf Barbosa, but just don't stalk too close because I do get nervous and I do have an itchy trigger finger.
Cool. And also, Arpo, how do they get you in social media?
Well, to be social, they can get me on Facebook. If they want to talk a little business, they can get me on LinkedIn. Or if they just want to chat in general, they can always use Skype because I enjoy talking to people. But please let me know that you're a fan of Movietime, because I get way too many offers from Armenian women who want to marry me and robots that want to steal my charge card number.
Exactly.
Oh, and don't phone me, because WC has started to do triage on my calls. I have to stop that.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
No. I'll go so far as to say, oh man, that's bad, man.
Yeah. And also you can get me on www.pastlivesproductionsinc.net, on LinkedIn, on Bizipedia, on Facebook, on Twitter at Sonata Grayson, at Movietime Indie. And again, feel free to also give us fan mail, good, bad. Tell us how mean we were tonight, all about politics and stuff like that, since we weren't really talking politics. But feel free to tell us anyway and go like, oh my gosh, it's like you people. Or it's like how good we're doing as well tonight, and like how much you really appreciated the show. And we look forward to seeing you on Wednesday, and hopefully that you enjoy it.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Good night.
Night.
Night.